Welcome to Activate Your Freedom with Nakeisha, a space for women who are ready to move beyond survival mode into clarity, structure, and intentional living. I'm Nakeisha, entrepreneur, author, speaker, and someone who understands what it means to carry many roles while still hearing the deeper call to become. Here we have honest conversation about healing, identity, leadership, faith, business, and the practical shift required to build a life that truly aligns with who you are becoming. If you know there are more for you than just simple managing life, then this is the space for you. Let's begin. Welcome to Activate Your Freedom with Nakeisha. This is episode 2. And I want to say a big shout out and thank you to everyone that listened, shared, and liked episode 1. The feedback was great and my heart is full. And thank you. I promise you, I'm going to take you on a beautiful journey. I am going to be truthful. I'm going to be transparent. And honestly, it's about time we have these real conversation. So this episode, I'm actually recording it in my car. And the reason why I'm recording this in my car is because I just had a conversation with a lady and I didn't want it to, how would I say, I didn't want to lose the momentum of the conversation. So this conversation was about someone that was having a lot of health challenges. And one of the things that we were celebrating was our health condition has improved a lot. And the main reason for the improvement in her health condition was the boundaries she set at home. The boundaries that she set with her loved ones. And I want you guys to think about that. A lot of times we're just going through the motion and the stress that we are enduring is because we haven't learned how to set boundaries. She said one key thing that stick to me like a sore thumb. And it was that the last 10 years of my life, I don't remember. It was like I was on autopilot. There was times that I was driving and I got to the location and I have to ask myself, how did I get here? Did I run a red light? Because I have no clue. And honestly, that was me many years ago. And when she said that, I went back to the old me. And that old me that was always on autopilot, I was experiencing the same thing. I was just going through the motion. I have my youngest son is 16 years old. And I'm going to be very honest and transparent to you. The first, I'll say 3 to 4 years of his life, I don't remember. And this is something that I've always told people. I have no clue. I gave birth to this child and I don't remember 90% of the first 3 years of his life. Why? I was busy going to school. I was busy working 2 jobs. I was busy being a mom, a wife, a caregiver. I was busy doing so much for everyone. I got lost in that motion. And to be honest, my shift started when I had my daughter. And why that shift happened was because my daughter, she's now 13. She demanded so much of me, more than my boys. My boys never demanded my attention as much as my daughter did. My daughter didn't like anyone. She would cry and she would cry and she would cry. And because of that, I'll say out of all my children, this is the one child I could say that I cared for the most by myself without much assistance because she demanded so much of me, right? And because of her, I knew that something had to change. Because of her, I knew that I couldn't continue on the journey that I was going on. Because of her, I knew that I had to make that shift and be more present in my children's life. And I know a lot of us could relate to this because we're so busy providing for our family that we're absent. And the provision that we're giving to them, we're the one that want to give that to them. They're not requiring that from us. All they want is their love and attention. And they're really, really okay with whatever provision we're able to give to them. Right? And this is where us women, we are so good at operating in autopilot. We're so good in operating in that survival mode. We're so good at just serving and being everything for everyone to the point where we lose ourselves. We have no idea who we are. We have no identity outside of the roles that we play. And I want you guys to listen to this podcast and really do a self-reflection. Is the life that I'm currently living aligned with the woman that I'm becoming or the woman that I want to become? Do you know who you want to become? That's even another question. I remember asking myself that. I remember being at a place in my life where I had to ask myself, is this it? I have 20 something years to retirement. And is this it? And when I think about if this was it, how sad my life was going to be. And that's when I knew I had to change. Something has to give. I have to give up something in order to gain myself. And truth is, I did give up a lot. I gave up the woman I used to be. I gave up the woman that was people pleaser. I gave up the woman that say yes to everyone and no to myself. And recently, I realized how much I've improved. And I remember coming home from work. I was tired. And my daughter came down and she's like, Mom, what are we having for dinner? And when I tell you, I was exhausted. And she said, Mom, what are we having for dinner? And I'm like, whatever you make, baby. And she said, Mom, could you make me some corned beef and rice? And I looked at her and I said, baby, Mommy, do not have the energy for that right now. However, tomorrow I'll make you fried chicken and rice. And she said, but Mom, what am I going to eat today? And I looked at her and I said, baby, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to shower and I'm going to go to bed because what I need right now is rest. And what Mommy need you to do is to go and make yourself something to eat. And tomorrow I'll ensure that you get a really good meal. Guess what? I went upstairs, went in the shower, and by the time I went to bed, she was downstairs making corned beef and rice with her cousin. And I had to reflect on that experience because I'm like, look at that. My cup was empty. And she was asking me to serve her from an empty cup. The old me would have found just a little drip of energy, just a little drip of coffee, a little drip of tea, and give to her. But you know what that little drip was going to do? It was going to stress me out to the point where, I don't know, maybe I would, there's so much thing could happen when we're pushing beyond our limit. A lot of people have strokes. A lot of people have heart attack, right? And it just shows that sometimes we need to say no to the ones that we love so we could say yes to ourselves because guess what? They'll be okay. They're so used to us giving, and saying yes to them, right? To the point where they don't know how to survive without us. And we need to teach them that we need to serve ourselves as well. And that experience showed me that all we have to say is no and fill our cup. And guess what? My cup was full the next day. And I got up and I made fried chicken, rice, and peas and salad. And the entire family was happy. Because what? My cup was full. I was able to serve from it, my overflow. And I want you guys to reflect on who you are right now. on how are you serving the ones that you love? Are you serving from an empty cup? Or are you serving from your overflow? And if you're serving from an empty cup, what are the boundaries we need to set for ourselves? Who do we need to start saying no to? What do we need to start saying no to? And how can we start filling our cup? Because I promise you, our family, our loved one, and those we serve will benefit more from our overflow, than the empty cup that we're serving from. So I hope this message touches your heart. And please like and share. And look out for episode 3. Thank you. Bye. Before we close, I want to leave you with this. Just because you've learned how to function doesn't mean you have to stay there. Freedom starts with awareness, with honesty, with choosing to listen to yourself in a deeper way. If this episode spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs it. And if you're ready to go deeper, make sure you follow the podcast so you don't miss what's next. This is Activate Your Freedom, and your next level starts with you.